If you're a beginner who wants to learn data analytics and you don't know how to start or where to start, you're overwhelmed with thousands of informations on YouTube and on internet at large. So you've been wondering, where do I start from? Please do not open Python or SQL or Power BI to start from there. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where to start from, how to start, and the step-by-step guide that can make you a data analytics in the shortest possible time. So if you're ready, let's dive right into it. If you're a beginner data analyst who wants to learn data analytics, start with Excel. Excel remains one of the powerful tools in data analytics. Excel has been so underrated that many beginners get overwhelmed by starting from Python, SQL, or even Power BI. Whereas Excel is the foundation you need to start smart as a data analyst. Excel, some people say it to be manual, but that manual that they say Excel to be can actually be what will help you to understand what data analytics is all about. Excel helps you to understand your data sets better, especially as a beginner, rather than starting with Python. Python is a great tool in data analytics, but as a beginner, you do not need to start with Python. Start with Excel and your journey will be smoother. So in this video, let's start with how you can start, step-by-step guide. If you're starting with Excel, you need to start with Excel Foundations. So let me explain to you what Excel Foundation means. Excel Foundation is, first of all, you need to download Excel on your laptop, or you can run Excel on web, whichever one works for you. If you have difficulty doing any of these things, leave me a comment in the comment section and I will guide you on how to do this. Once you've downloaded Excel or run it on web, simply when you have access to your Excel, first of all, understand the Excel interface, the workbook, and how they operate. If you're someone who has never come in contact with Excel for the first time, seeing the interface might be a bit confusing. That is the rows, the columns, and every other thing, the ranges. This might be confusing to you. You might not even understand what to do. But that is why I'm explaining to you now. First of all, understand your interface, the workbook. Then you move to understanding the rows, the columns, what are rows, what are columns, the range, and every other thing. After understanding these things, you need to move to Excel formatting. When you're understanding the interface, you need to do a couple of things. You need to click on the ribbons and understand how they work. You can decide to click on the insert, home, data. That is where you can see the filter. When you click on insert, that is when you can see the pivot table, tables, and every other thing. You click on data, you can see the pivot, analyze, and every other thing there. So just get familiar with these things. Understand what you will click and you'll see the other ones. Understand that when you click on insert, the things that you will see. Understand that when you click on home, these are the things that I can access from there. Just get familiar with these things. This is the first step for you. And after you've gotten familiar, you've understood your rows and your columns, you've understood what is formatting, you can move to sort and filter. That is sorting from ascending order to the descending order, or sorting from the descending order to the ascending order. Whichever thing you want to achieve, that will determine what to choose. That is sorting from largest to smallest, or smallest to largest, or it can be sorting from A to Z or Z to A. Whichever thing it is, just understand that this is you sorting either from descending or the ascending order. That is what is sort, and then you can filter for what you want. That is applying filters on your columns, then for you to be able to access or do whatever you want to do. If you're a beginner, this might seem overwhelming, but when you start the process, you understand that these are very cheap. If you want to apply your filter, you can just hold your control and your shift button, then click on L. That then you apply the filter on that column and then do whatever you want to do depending. Then you can move to tables, like what you use tables for. Where to see tables, you can click on your insert and you can see tables and all those other things. As you proceed, you understand that there are things you will need these things for. Then after these Excel foundations, it can take you a week, it can take you 2 weeks, it can take you 3 days, it can take you a month, depending on your schedule, depending on the time you have. People time differs. You can have 20 hours in a week, 40 hours, 10 hours, 5 to whichever one you have. Just don't feel intimidated. Use the number of hours you have and you'll be able to achieve something. Then the next thing you need to move to is the essential formulas. The essential formulas for data analysts in Excel. Excel has more than 400 functions, but there are functions that is peculiar to you as a data analyst. You're not coming to Excel to learn the 400 functions or more than that. You're just trying to learn the functions that you need as a data analyst. That will apply to your work in data analysis. And some of these functions, It ranges from a whole number of them, but first I'll give it to you step by step. So first of all, you need to look at functions such as sum, average, mean, max, counts. You can look at the sums, that is the sum ifs, there are counts, count ifs, there are a whole lot of them. These are the things you should look out for in the essential formula stage. If you're using weekly for it, you must have done the Excel foundation in week 1. So this is the week 2. That is, you need to do the essential formulas for data analytics in Excel. So when you look at these things, and also do not forget the if errors, the text functions, the date functions, every other thing that has to do with those basic formulas for data analysts in Excel. Then you move to the next one, that is data cleaning. Data cleaning in data analysis is one of the crucial steps that you need to take very serious. Before I explain the things to look out for, I want you to understand something. Cleaning your data properly can determine if your result will be accurate or inaccurate. If you do not take your data cleaning step very serious, more like cleaning it properly, it can make your result to be inaccurate. It can make that insight to be flawed. It can make you to give biased insight. So as a data analyst, you should understand that data cleaning is one of the crucial steps in data analysis. That is cleaning your data. And in this step, what are the things you need to look out for? You need to look out for how to handle duplicates, trim, the flash fields, text to column, find and replace, handling blanks and errors, data validation. Just look out for these things, and do not forget formatting your dates. Sometimes your dates can be in a different format. These are the things you handle in data cleaning. Also, sometimes there are some columns you need to be in number format and they are in text. You need to make sure that you convert them from text to numbers. These are the steps that can help you when you get to your data analysis stage. So without taking much of your time, let's move to the fourth one, which is the lookups. This is one of the most popular formulas that data analysts use. That is the VLOOKUP, the XLOOKUP, the index plus match, combining data sets. These things are very popular. You might have heard it, but I just want you to understand that the lookups, that is especially the VLOOKUP and the XLOOKUP, is one of the functions that you might need on a daily basis. You might use it daily because you will always need to VLOOKUP something. You will always need to bring in or remove some things. When you get to that stage, this will make sense to you. At this stage, it might not really make sense because you might feel like, what do I mean by bringing in and removing? Just hold on, calm down, don't overwhelm yourself. Just watch this video till the end. You can save this video, you can download this video and keep it and just follow this step one after the other. Follow your pace. Do not follow another person's pace. Work based on the time you have, and things will actually get easier as you proceed. So after this fourth stage, you need to move to the fifth stage, which is the data analysis itself. Here is what we've been preparing for all along, right? You will know that every other step we've done is like preparing for this particular stage, that is doing the analysis properly. Here you need to make use of the pivot table, the pivot charts, conditional formatting, the basic KPIs, the trend analysis, the percentage change. All those things happens in this particular stage. And let me tell you something, this is where you actually get that insight that you will communicate, that you might actually put out there in the visuals. This is where the real deal happens. Remember, no step is better than the other one, but we all have to agree that data analysis is why we are here. Every other step is what we are using to prepare to make sure that this particular stage is a success. Do not take it for granted. Pay close attention to it. Take as much time as you need. If it requires you to take 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even 4 weeks for you to perfect this stage, please, you need to perfect this stage because this is where you do the real analysis. Pivot table might be really simple looking at it, but when you start the analysis, it can get confusing. It can get even overwhelming. I'm saying all these things not to scare you, but for you to be prepared for this particular stage. And after this stage, which is like the fifth stage, if you're following it week by week, this is your fifth week. You need to move to the next one, which is your dashboards. Here, you need to build your first dashboard. As a beginner, you will be very excited because I myself, when I built my first dashboard, I was very, very excited. I just feel like, so this is me being able to do these things. You might be excited, even if you're overwhelmed, please do not panic. This is the dashboard building stage. You build your first dashboard. That is where you understand what is called charts, those graphs like the pie chart, column chart, all those other charts. You really know about charts. So these are the things you will need to build your first dashboard. And one beautiful thing now is that Excel has these features that can help you to design your dashboard however you want. You can play around with the colors. You can do a whole number of things here because this dashboard is what you will use to visualize your findings. Remember, you might not be presenting these findings to your fellow data analysts. You might be presenting it to your CEO who doesn't understand what data analytics is, and that is why they hired you. If your manager or even your marketing manager or your sales manager or your operations manager had understood this, they wouldn't hire you. So you will understand that building this dashboard is for you to be able to visualize your findings. That is what you just did in stage 5, is what you are going to visualize here. This is to make it easier for your CEO, your marketing manager, your operation manager, your sales manager, whichever team of stakeholders you are actually reporting to. This is the stage that you have to visualize this for it to make sense to them. They might not understand the numbers and what you did in the analysis stage. In this stage, that is when you'll be able to visualize it, that they can see it and make meaning of it. Some of them might not still understand it, and that's what brings us to the next stage: communicating these things you've done. All these things we've been working so hard on, using the formulas, cleaning the data, running the analysis, they really don't care. That is just the bitter truth. What they need is that insight. And when you visualize it, it will make some level of senses to them. And some of them might not really understand it totally. And that is what brings the communication part, where you'll be able to communicate. And if you're not really presenting it to them, maybe you just need to send them that insight. That is where you have to do a little bit of communication. That is, you have to write it in text to explain what you've done in that your dashboard. When they now look at that dashboard and they read your notes, they will be able to make sense of it. They'll be like, oh wow. They'll just be nodding because it's making sense to them that this is what this person is trying to communicate to us, and this is what this person has been able to achieve with this dashboard. They just don't build the dashboard and don't pay there. Some will understand it and some will not understand it. Remember, you're learning, right? You might not really be presenting it to a stakeholder, but please don't miss this communication part. Even if you're just submitting to your accountability partner, make sure you do that stage, because as you're doing it, you're getting better at it. Communication is a crucial step in data analytics. You might do every other thing perfect, but if you don't communicate it the right way, it doesn't make sense to them. And if it doesn't make sense to your stakeholder, the CEO, the marketing manager, or whoever you're reporting to, all your analysis will be in vain, because if they can't make use of it, what is the need of the analysis in the first place? So don't say, I'm not presenting it to anybody, so I'm skipping this stage. Please do not skip it. And that brings us to the 8th part, and this is the final part: real data analysis project. This project is what will test everything you've been doing. You see all those things you've been able to do, this particular stage will test it, because you're getting your hands on doing a real data analysis project. Here you will import a messy data. Yes, I know that some sites don't allow their data to be that messy. So just understand that you might be able to get a real messy data. You might get a data that is not really that messy. Prepare your mind for whichever data you're able to get. And if you need help on where you can access free data that you can use to build your real data analysis project, leave me a comment in the comment section, and I will provide you the site and where you'll be able to get these data. You clean it, you analyze it, you visualize it, and then you present the insights. This is the last step. And if you're able to follow this step, trust me, you're already a data analyst, because you can always learn Python. You can always learn SQL. You can always learn Power BI. And when you're not learning Power BI, SQL, and Python, it will come in handy. You will understand it better. Because if you skip the Excel, which is the foundation, those other tools like Power BI, SQL, and Python will now be more difficult for you. But if you finish this foundation Excel, other ones will be more easy for you to do. So follow these steps. Tell me how it's going. If you run into any difficulty, do not hesitate to leave me a comment in the comment section, and I will be glad to guide you. See you on the next one. Bye.